Welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast. I'm Chris Anderson, your host. I'm looking forward to diving into today's episode and giving you a little bit more direction so you can elevate your business, elevate your life, and make a difference in the world. If you like anything you hear today, make sure you share it along, make a difference in someone else's life. And if you do like something, make sure to go to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. It makes a whole world of a difference for us here at the podcast to continue to do this, to bring great guests, great information to you so you can elevate your business, elevate your brand, elevate your life, and take big steps moving forward. Thanks again, and let's dive into the episode. What are some of the kind of the best changes you've seen so far with Instagram that they've made?
Yeah, I think that, I think while a lot of people are hesitant to embrace all of these new features and all these different added benefits and types of content on the platform, I actually am a fan of all of the new content that they're allowing us to create because they're giving entrepreneurs and business owners different ways to serve their audience. Whether you're best with photo or with text copy, or you're best with quick video snippets like stories or reels, Instagram is really providing us with a lot of different ways to engage our audience so that it doesn't become stale, so that our audience stays engaged. And also, Instagram recognizes that we each have different expertises and different skills. Some people are really great at podcasting. Some people hate spoken audio, but they love doing like quick dancing or fun, engaging clips for Reels or TikTok. So it's really, you can pick whatever kind of content that really suits you best on Instagram, and you can still have success with it. And I think that while there is a lot of noise and there's a lot going on Instagram, it really still comes back to the same basic principles of serving your audience and connecting with them to build a community that are ultimately going to help you be successful.
So if someone's trying to grow an audience, maybe using this as for their brand, their business, content creator or business, is there much difference? Does it matter?
Yeah. So let's start by saying there's two different categories, and this should kind of simplify it for everyone. Okay. It can be confusing. There's two categories. There's personal and there's professional.
Okay.
Personal is just when you sign up. Most people start out with a personal account. And if you have a personal account, it can be set to private, which means that the only people who see your content, of course, are the people you allow them to. If you're a business owner, you absolutely cannot be private.
Right.
I say that's like being a street performer on a cul-de-sac. Like you're not going to get any traffic.
Yeah. I can't believe when I go to people's businesses pages and they're private. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing, hashtags aren't going to work for you if you're private. Nothing works if you're private because no one can find you.
Yep.
That's the first thing. Public or private, of course you want to be public, but then you should switch from just a normal Instagram account to a professional account. That's the second category. And once you switch to professional, you're given two options: business or creator.
Okay.
For a while, I recommended switching to business because business accounts got additional insights, basically statistics and demographics on their audience that other accounts didn't.
Okay.
That has changed. Creator accounts get the exact same insights, the exact same benefits.
Where do you see people going wrong when it comes to trying to grow their audience?
I think the biggest place people are going wrong is not defining their niche.
Okay.
Step one to growing on Instagram is clearly defining two things. Two things, Chris. Number one, who do you help or serve or post your content for?
Yep.
The more specific you can be, the better. If it's men and women, it's way too broad. If it's men, it's still probably too broad. If it's just women, it's still probably too broad. We need to get specific. Do you help moms over 40? Do you help men in their 20s? Do you help single dads? Do you help grandmas? Who is that specific group? Do you help small business owners? Do you help women in network marketing? Like, who is that specific group of people? Number one. And then the second piece is, how specifically do you help them?
So shares, getting the Reels carousels, hashtags, alt text. Is there any other features or tips that people can use to help them kind of expand their following on Instagram that we haven't covered yet?
Yeah, I think that engaging with other people is also a huge way to grow. At the end of the day, Instagram is a social media, and Instagram's algorithm is what's known as a social algorithm, which is different than TikTok's algorithm, but we're not even going to go down that hole. But Instagram is a social place. And in early 2019, Instagram told us, for pretty much the only time they've ever told us, they told us about their algorithm and how it works. They didn't give us the full mathematical equation. They didn't let us peek at the coding. But what they did tell us is that Instagram works based off relationships. Instagram really prioritizes showing your content to people who it thinks you have a relationship with. But Chris, how can Instagram and social media determine who you have a relationship with? Well, they don't go to ancestry.com. They don't look up like your text message records and see like who has the same last name as you and who gave birth to you. What they do to determine relationships is they look at who are you interacting with, and in turn, who's interacting with you. If I am all day long direct messaging my fiance, sending her little pictures on Instagram, tagging her and stuff, commenting on her post, she's commenting on mine. I like every one of her posts. She likes every one of mine. Instagram's like, wow, that's a really strong connection. So whenever she posts, we're going to make sure you see her post and vice versa. Okay. Well, guess what? You can do that exact same thing with members of your audience and members who you want to be a part of your audience. So what I would recommend is be very thoughtful and spend a large majority, probably 2/3 of your time that you spend on Instagram, be spent engaging with your target market, finding them in hashtags, finding them because they already follow big accounts in your niche, connecting with them, commenting back and forth with them, not just liking their picture, not just saying, hey, follow me, check out my stuff, but adding value, having conversations and starting real relationships with people on Instagram. That will build a community of raving fans, and that will create a really engaged audience.
And thanks so much for tuning into this episode today. If you found value at all from this episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It just helps us get this show, these messages out in front of more people. And don't forget to share this with someone who you think could benefit from listening to as well.